Okay, so this is the next video after that other one. I don't know if I'll do a part 2 type thing, but I'm just going to bring up, I'm calling these ones from, to be separate from the other ones, but it will be similar. The Great Awakening is what I like to put in, so people are be aware that it is connected to the Great Awakening, and it's called the 3D, 5D, 7D shift connection. I say 7D because 7D is God connect, because it seems like people feel like they might shift higher, or they hope that they do. But really, it's going to be a level of progression of where we are, or where we're ready for. Some of us will go higher if we're ready, or we'll go faster based on our vibes and our choices of what we know we're ready for, what we learn to adapt and learn from the abilities that we get at those different levels. Basically, once you become those different levels, you get awareness of the abilities that you realize have been suppressed, and then you have to learn how to handle those abilities properly so that you're not using them wrong in the continuum, and affecting it. But there's always going to be a learning curve and learning things is why things are the way that they've been in all the different timelines and stuff. But now they're realizing how important it is to be aware of the truth so that we don't make all those mistakes. So we realize how important they are. So we do less mistakes than we have before in the different connections. Some of you will know what I just said. Some of you won't. But anyway, welcome to my channel. This is Samuel Durbridge. And this is my video on shadow to light. 40 days and 40 night connection. And we're in the mid time frame. We're almost at the end of it. But basically, I've noticed it for about 2 weeks now, with the blessings, or at least a week now, and we're in the second week. And so I've noticed that it happens like every so often. And I'm like, this is interesting because I wasn't expecting this, but I was hoping for it. And it's been really cool because things that you feel that you lost, or that you feel that you want to find again, show up, and you feel grateful that you found it, and you were worried that you lost it, or you weren't sure where it went, and then it comes back to you. And then you find other things, or you get drawn to certain things because of certain things you've been thinking about or being pushed towards, and then it gets you to find it, or certain things get in your path to get you that direction. So it's really kind of interesting, but it's so subtle, it's so peaceful, it's so powerful. So yeah, I found something, and then, so that's how it starts. So first, something that seems bad shows up and happens. But the bad thing has a flip side to it, where it wasn't really bad, it helped you to make it better, or you can now use it in a different way than you even knew you could, or now that you have to. You're like, well, I like this better than the others. So it comes across as better than what it was, and you feel a lot of freeing of your shadowy self, or pain, or things that have been holding you back. And they call it blockages in your gut feelings in your brain, and that have been hurting you or damaging you from past abuses or indoctrination connections that you felt were abusive to you, that were affecting you a lot, that others didn't know that they were doing to you, or they did and they just ignored it, and because of their own abuses that have been done to them. So everybody's abuses and blockages are breaking off that want that and desire it. And those that are awakened more, that have chosen more holistic practices, are noticing it a lot more than those that haven't. But those that haven't are going to start noticing it, and we want to bless them. We want to heal them. We want to believe that they can be healed, because thinking that they can't will make it so that they don't. Even if people chose to take things that would alter their DNA or do things, we want to bless them the most, because some of them can still be saved, because everything is everything. Even if it's still a solid being, it's a creation, it was originally created by a creator connection, then those alterations that can alter the DNA were originally still connected to the all source of all DNA connections, even if it's different than the God. It's just the way people look at things. And I like to look at it in a more, we're all oneness, regardless what kind of species or connection to our DNA we seem to try to change or have been done to us. abuses. I think anybody can be okay. So what is cool is it's the spiritual connection. And there are med beds and other things that are light body type stuff that are more not meds, but more like light machines and light that are high up things that can heal and regrow limbs and regrow your whole body system. They bring it up. One of the body system ideas of regrowing a system or person back is there is a technology they bring up in the what is it called? The Fifth Element. Yeah, the Fifth Element movie back then, they bring up that they show a rebuilding of a body system. They have that. So if they brought that up then, they must have had that technology at that time or knew about it. Or knew, because they bring it up in all their shows to tell you what technology really exists. Seeing if you will catch on, or letting the elites or the ones that have the access to those things to know that is now possible, or letting them be aware of it that didn't know, and to get them to be aware that this is something that's real. So that's what's interesting. So there is stuff like that, and now that's being outed, and it's saying that it will be released this summer, which is awesome, which would be May and June time frame. Some feel that it might come out in April. Some say it will come out in April. I hope it's between April and June. The sooner the better. Some people say it will start being told about in March, which makes sense to the connections to what I've heard and the connections to the calendars and timelines and all sorts of stuff. So what happens is, what is great is I'm noticing that things are switching for me, where things that seem like irritating that I have are now being replaced or redone from other things breaking, but then I can use those other things for other things, or probably will, or they're meant to be. And so that will be cool. Now, what's interesting about these connections is what also is happening is they first give you, what first happens is the blessing, and I've said this a few times because I'm trying to get to a point here, is that it first gives you, and I'm looking at one of the things that was a blessing that at first I thought was a curse, but then it became a blessing, because that's what darkness to light is, or shadow to light. So it's a shadow of the blessing that's really there. Then you see the blessing and you realize that the shadow that you saw was really a shadow of the blessing. And now you see the blessing, and then a blessing beyond that shows up too. So you first get something that you lost. Something happens that's irritating, and then you find something that's lost, and then that irritating thing becomes a blessing more, and shows up as a blessing more to bring another blessing to you. And so it becomes a blessing in itself for getting you to this other thing. And you already knew that it was a blessing in itself usually, or you see it as one if you didn't see it as before. And then you're just like, this is cool, now I can use it this way. And now I have this extra thing that I can use for later that will turn into a blessing somehow. And so it's giving you information to help you for later, to do certain things later for you. So I think it's really cool. It's getting you to pay attention to it so that you can now know what to do next. So anyway, I wasn't planning on doing all these videos of talking. I wanted to do blessing videos. So I will try to do that for my next 2 videos, and maybe a little bit in this video. But really, I just wanted to do blessing. But I had to let this be known, because it seems like these individuals want it to be known. And so them causing these little teeny things to me, and me having to talk to my mom and dad or other people, might be blessings in their own down the road, because I was letting them know to let them to be safe and be aware of what's going on, that I know is connected to them, that they want to ignore, and they don't feel like they want to focus on, because they always want to focus on other things that pretend to or pertain to what they think is important to them. Which I want them to be able to focus on what they think is important to them. But I want them to be aware of this, regardless whether they're choosing to believe or notice it or not, and let the other family members know. So it's kind of like the family is trying to reach out to me to bring me back into their connections of what they think is okay to do. But I've been safe doing what I know is healthy for me. So maybe it's to try to help them to give them a chance to be okay. But some people feel that those who have chosen to follow the tricks and the games and to be vaxxed and to wear the mask and follow those games that most of my family have chosen to do won't survive after 5 years. And I don't know, and I don't want that. I believe that everybody can be healed from anything. I would recommend that you look and research any type of thing you choose to ingest or put in your body. And if you find out later, even me, I have to keep redoing things or changing things around because there's so many tricks that have been done to our foods, even the good foods that are said to be good foods that are organic or supposed to be. There's been so much that have been done. So you have to bless everything. You have to just pray for everything and bless it all, like I'm doing now for all of you. It's just others just don't know how strategic that is going on. Is there are individuals that are doing certain things to turn you against others or to think that others are talking about you when they're not, and to get people to turn against neighbor. And it's like, what is going on here? I'm trying to protect me, yes, but I want them to be loved and I want them to be protected even if they don't think I do. I want them to be okay. I don't want any, I just stay away from all that drama. For me, I think it's what is interesting is it's madness. This is great, and that's becoming a common theme right now for the Avenger connections. Is they're saying that it's going to be the Nightmare of Madness of Doctor Strange's Nightmare of Madness stuff. So they're trying to bring madness to be noticed, but then between the madness there is peace and powerful awareness being noticed. So all these things are being promoted there, and we're all feeling it. But all the good high vibe people that are teaching to bless others and to eat high vibe food or to be aware of it and decide for yourself, like I am and others are, because we just want everybody to be loved. We want everybody to be healed. We don't want these games. We're doing things because of what has been done to us to protect wherever we go. We do certain things, but then other people think that we're doing beyond what we really have been doing for ourselves, and they think that we're trying to do stuff that we're not doing. And it's like, where are they getting this information from? Where are they thinking it's coming from? And they're like, it's you. No, it's not. You're actually thinking that it's me because someone else is getting you to think it's me when it's not even me at all. And you're thinking that I said something beyond what I've said. And it's like, and thinking that I'm doing things beyond what I would even do. And I'm just like, what is going on? So it's getting madness out there. It's really crazy. And I'm laughing because it's not funny at all, but it's showing that there is a split going on. It's proving that the Great Awakening is here. And there are sides. And they're trying to get people caught on the wrong sides. Peace is the side you want to be on. To bless everybody, to manifest desired dreams, to know that that's all I want, and I'm blessing and I'm praying and I'm whatever will work for them to manifest their desired funds so that they can have their own home, so that I can have my own home, or so that I can get out and be in my home so that I don't need to be near them. Because that's where I would ultimately like to be, so that they can have what they feel they want. But I would want them to have their own home so that the people that are actually doing it to them in these environments, after I leave, won't do it even more. And then they'll realize that it was them the whole time and not me. And so it's really funny that they're trying to use the superheroes against being seen as they're the ones doing it. And they bring this up in WandaVision. They bring it up in WandaVision. They're turning and making the good guys seem like they're bad guys when we're really the ones protecting the others and them and standing up for them when they don't even know we're standing up for them. And it's really funny. And it's like, so WandaVision is bringing this up, and it's really hilarious because, and sad too, but it's showing that this is what's going on. But now those dudes are coming out of the woodwork. So that's what all this is you're going to start to see the real enemies, that they're going to start outing themselves and showing up who they are. And then you're going to realize that we've been the good guys all along. That I've been the good guy trying to heal and bless everybody and pray. I even, if anybody tries to go after me and I have to let others know, I tell those others, don't do anything to them. They don't know what's happening. And I love them and I care about them and I want them to be safe and stuff. But they're being tricked by others to do these different things, and it's affecting me and my health, and I need to be careful. But they don't mean to, and it's not their fault. It's just, but I've only done it when they threatened, or when others have threatened, or when others have freaked out, when they didn't need to freak out over something they thought was, they interpreted that were wrong because of their health being affected by these same people that are coming after me. So they're trying to turn targeted individuals against targeted individuals, neighbors against neighbors, family against family, separating families by infiltrating the groups that they're in so that we can see the full truth. So really, they're doing all these horrible things, and they're allowing the darkness to do that so that the darkness destroys itself. And it really not destroys itself, but heals itself. It's doing these things, and it's basically a cry for help. And then the light comes in and heals them and reveals what's really been going on. And then everybody hugs and is okay again and loves and feels bad and realizes, oh, this person actually did stand up for me. Oh, this person actually did care about me more than what I was being told they were or what I thought was going on. And people don't know what's really been going on. And I've noticed that that's what's been done with me too. These different individuals that used to do these different things to me, now they're bringing back the things and helping and doing the 40-day, 40-night blessing. So that's what all this is. We are in the shift time frame. The calendars are now being revealed that the actual new year that we haven't been told in history, and it's now coming out, would be connected between, I'm going to say December 12th, so Chinese New Year, or not December 12th, excuse me, February 12th of what we're thinking is actual this year of 2021. So February 12th of 2021 would be actually the new year of January 1st, 2021, or the actual new year of 2013. But really, the real oldest calendar connections, that is even older than that, say that the 22nd of March is the new year, which would be 2012 or 2021 of January. But it might not even be January. It might be some other name that we didn't know of, because we just called the first month of January. That was really another name or another thing that we may not know that I don't know. But I'm just going to say as though it's January. So we'll just say it's the first one. We'll just say it's one numeral or whatever the numeral of the first of the actual calendar would be. And it goes to the 21st would be the before that, of the last month before that new year time. So let's say that 12/21/12 would actually be March 11th, 2021, would actually be 12/21/12 or 12/21/20, which would be what the Aquarius age change is supposed to be connecting. So something amazing is happening between March 1st, okay, and March 11th. And then all the way to March 27th, and on the 28th of March, something else is being said. And I'm seeing all these patterns, and people keep bringing up these things after I caught on to certain patterns, and then they bring up some other pattern on top of it that makes sense to the pattern I figured out before they told me it. I'm like, okay, well that makes sense because of this and this that I already knew. So I'm realizing that all my awarenesses, just like I was told by my higher self in 2017, that I'd figure it out. I'm the key to this connection. And I don't know why I was the key. I don't know why I was, other than possibly I'm a divine bloodline that came back into this form to relive a show that was put together. So it's an avatar, so it's reliving time to correct the time that was altered and messed with by other groups of a time war connected celestial time war or universal multi-earth heavenly beyond heaven war that now the ultimate heaven has won and everybody has gotten together and everybody's okay now and loved and forgiven, and now all the thing that caused the darkness to be the darkness, or now their balanced self with a balanced form of self. And that's just stuff I brought up before, and it goes way deep. You'd have to talk to me personally to dive deep into that knowledge, because it's throughout history, it's in a lot of documents, a lot of research, a lot of information, but it's way deep, and it's in all the different records and information back and forth. And it's just the pattern is put judgment aside, put doubt aside, and see all sides, and then put them all together as a piece of a puzzle, and you'll get the real story. That's it. And then when you realize that one side was telling more of the truth than the other, you'll realize, the ones that have been being told that we are. No, I'm going to tell you that we're all been messed with. We've all been screwed up, and we were all told to think the other is the bad guy. No one is the bad guy. No one that wants to be a bad guy is a bad guy. You're all good. Okay, you're all loved. You're all awesome. And if you want me to have your back, I have your back all the time of doing the right thing for all. But if you try to get me to do something towards a neighbor or a friend or something that harms them or that gets them to be tripped up, I'm not going to do that. If they try to trip me up, I'm only going to defend myself, and then I'm going to defend them for whoever's getting them to think that way. And I say, please don't go after them or do stuff to them. Seems like someone is misinterpreting them, or they misinterpreted me, and I want them to be okay. And I want them to be fine. I don't want them, I'm only doing it to protect because of things that they think are being done. So they're saying these other things to protect them, thinking that they're putting it all on me. And I've always been the one, because I've always been the one that everybody dumps all their junk on at me, but I've learned to clear it out now ever since I've been about authentic self, opening up my heart, focusing on me. And they still want to do that, and it's just a constant thing that they'll do, but I've learned to balance and find out what I am ultimately willing to deal with and what I'm ultimately willing just to bless everybody for. So anything that comes at me, I'm always blessing them, I'm always praying, I'm always hoping that they get their higher good, and manifesting and wanting it to be manifested for them in the way they want it to be. Not in the way I would want it, but the way they would want it for them. Because it's their life, not mine. Their life matters for them of what they need to be in. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. My whole thing is everybody needs to be in their own ultimate place that they can be, where they're not affecting others by their lifestyles. Because some people's lifestyles could damage other people's healthy needs, but they don't mean to. They have that thing that they feel helps them. So we need to get people in places where they can be in places where they can ultimately be okay. And maybe that's why they're around us, so that they can heal from the things that are harming them that they don't know is harming them. I don't know, but I don't want to be any part of anybody being pushed into something they don't want to be pushed into, or to follow a certain path of lifestyle that they don't want to be in. And so, anyway, sorry, I'm just looking all around because I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm thinking it all through in my head. That's why my eyes wander. So the whole thing is, it's all about the heart. It's all about doing the right thing. It's all about being aware of what matters, and follow your heart is what I always say. But do what you feel you should follow. If it's not following your heart and follow your mind, then follow your mind if that's what you think you should do. I always hope that people follow their heart, because I used to follow my mind, and the mind doesn't always help you. You got to follow your chakras altogether, is what I learned. But that's just something I learned later, and I'm glad someone told me that, because I caught on to it later, even when I thought they were weird for saying it. But then later I realized how cool it was, because it really does help. So your stomach, your heart, and your brain, and then whatever other chakra systems connect with you, which is between them and all around them and in you. And then your light body has its own chakras, and then beyond that, and it's really cool. And so I'm going to tell you some information that I want others to be aware of how amazing this is. So this darkness to light is, you speak your truth, you speak what you feel is going on, so that people are aware, and so that others are aware of what your side of things are, and that you love and bless and care is what I focus on. And so what's been happening is just been very, to me, it's been weird and not necessarily entertaining, but in a way I would call it entertaining, but to others it wouldn't be, and I don't want it to be entertaining, meaning people that have been trying to do what they've been doing, there's been others that have been helping me in other ways, and other beings and other stuff, because it's basically letting us know that those controls of the dark are slowly dissolving and changing, and they're waking up too, or they're being corrected, but they're still trying to do their shenanigans. Some of them are, but they're being corrected or being redirected. But some of the shenanigans are only to bring on good blessings to happen. They're trying to get us to react. But what I'm realizing is what they're really doing, what some of them are doing, is they're helping the light, without knowing they're helping the light, to bring on the new age, which has already started. So it's going to happen. You're going to start to see things being revealed and finding out what's really been going on, and then who the real leaders will be at that time. But then eventually there will be no leaders, and we'll all just be ruling ourselves and being there for each other. And the rulers that are there will follow the rules of the oneness. If we do have rulers, it will be a oneness rulership, where everybody is equally presented for what they know that individual would ultimately require for their highest good, of what they feel their highest good is. And then that blesses all. Because when everybody is blessed and healed from their harm situations they've dealt with, that others didn't know happened to them, and it's really cool. And some of it is from things that they're drinking or doing that are making them think things that aren't really going on, or thinking that it's more than what they thought it was, or that they think it's still happening, and so they're manifesting it more by thinking that it's happening. It brings on more, and it's happening a lot more, but it's not bringing it on in a dark way anymore. It's happening more light way for them. So it's blessing them, and it's happening, but it's happening them to help them in the better path, which is more of a shadow blessing. And then they see the blessing. And some of them aren't seeing it until they're ready to see it. But it's happening, and it's happening for good, for what they want. And they may see it, and they may recognize it, but they're going to recognize it soon. It's happening a lot more. It's going to be a lot more peaceful, and everybody will cry and hug each other and be grateful once it happens, because it's going to be so joyful and amazing, and it already is starting to. So what has already occurred is, first you have the situation where something gets broken. Let me bring it up that way. So something gets broken, but then from that broken wreckage, it wasn't really broken. It just took a piece of it that didn't need to really be there, or would have caused danger later. So it was good it broke at that time, so that it didn't affect you later or cause damage even more later that could have. And then now you have it broken in just the right way, that now you can use that other thing that broke off from it as a blessing to turn into something else that you didn't know you could. And you're like, this is really cool. Maybe I'll do that. And then you get another thing, or you could repair it back into the thing that you had it on if you want to, but you don't need to, because you might like what it turned from, but maybe you want it the other way. Some will want it the other way, some won't, but most people will, that see it as blessing will see that there's a purpose for it, and you'll be grateful that it's now this other way. Now, the other thing that happened was I found something I lost that I haven't found for 2 years, which is interesting. So for 2 years, I've been missing, and now it's coming back. And so I'm like, well, that's cool. So now I got this 2-year blessing that's occurred. And so I'm like, that for 2 years it's been missing, and now it's returned. And so all these other things are happening, and it's like, okay, this is awesome. This is foreshadowing or connecting to things that I caught on to, and it's letting me know of things. It's giving me a hidden message or a hidden knowledge. So, sorry, I'm just seeing the time. Okay, cool. And these are Nugo bars. These are good. Vegan, organic vegan type stuff is what I try to do, but some of it I go for non-GMO, gluten-free, and other stuff, and vegan certified stuff too. So they're close that I noticed have helped me and rebuild bone systems at times too. It's been really cool. A lot of miracles I've noticed from going towards what I eat now. That family noticed at first and kind of did, but they have chosen not to follow down that path because of other people telling them false things on it or their fears on it. So I follow not to fear, but to cheer and to get your hopes up and to find this twist from what was to what now can be, and to see that there's a blessing in disguise there. And that's what's happening. So the 40-day, 40-night shadow to light is the first you get something that you didn't know that you found. So I'll just kind of give you. So first I had, this is a vibe pen. These are really cool. So first I had this guy on this, and I've been using this, but I've been missing this dude. And so finally I found it, and these are just different adjustments you can put on, so you can unscrew it and use it. And they're just vibe tech type stuff. Well, someone returned this, or it showed up, and I noticed that someone was in my apartment returning. So it seems like what's happening is all the dark individuals, the bad guys. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like the gang stalker programs or people that are criminal type stuff. Those things have changed, and things are becoming more peaceful. And it's really cool how it turns. So you get a turn of from darkness to light type stuff. So what has happened with that is I got something that I've been looking for, wondering for about a week or two, or wondering where it was, thinking that maybe it's in my car, and it wasn't, because I felt it was here, and I brought it in, but I found it, and I realized where somebody did something, and it helped me find it. And I didn't know that it was there, and I forgot that it was maybe around.